Do it.
Oh. Toy box.
Shocking. It's probably best.
Wait, didn't you
Legally,
say this?
legal experiment.
Yeah. Didn't you say this was like about the like children are natural philosophers or something? Yeah, and I know nothing about philosophy, so I have the children part and y'all have the philosophy part.
Sure.
Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, you should never ask a why question.
Ooh. Ooh.
Because
This got fun.
a why question leads to defensive answers. So you ask what or how. Like what what did you feel when you were doing that? Or what about that made you feel angry instead of why? Because again, why has them defending themselves? No. Oh, when children ask us why questions. Oh, no, but well, either can adults. So just so you know. So that's don't that's a philosophy for that covers all ages that you don't ask why questions. Just do that.
I do. I do have a son. He's 5. He just started kindergarten last Monday. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Last Monday was hard, but after that it was good to go. Yeah.
They are 15 and 17, almost 18. But also, 4 years ago, I taught kindergarten, like for a whole day kind of kindergarten. And right now I teach fifth grade. Well, because well, yeah, it was a day at a time. Tell me, that's all you can do. But previous to that, I taught kindergarten through sixth grade science. So I only taught the kindergartner science. 4 years ago, I taught kindergarten all day, like a real class.
Mm.
That was the distinction. Probably irrelevant to the rest of the world, but educators, you get me.
I do. We did a pretty good job of, if he has a question about anything, to kind of just go deep into it. I feel like when I was growing up, nothing against my parents, a lot of stuff was, we'll talk about it when you're older, talk about it when you're older, sort of thing. And there's been instances where my son will ask a question and I'll kind of hesitate for a second, and my wife jumps right in and just gives him the answer, but keeps it to his level to where he can understand. And it seems to just like it, after doing that for a little bit, like he has just opened up and just asking so many questions, and whether he's comprehending some of this deep stuff or not, like he's at least moving forward with it. Like he's getting some sort of understanding from it.
You know what that makes me think of when he talks? Like, what if instead of answering the question, this is what they do now, like instead of direct teaching, right? This is this and that is that. They make you go through all these things to figure out the answer instead of telling you the answer. That's what I do. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how questions evolve. I can't hear Aaron. Katie says he. Can you hear him now? You got to talk, Aaron. My mic is super far away. I think I'm just louder. I will talk while Aaron figures that out. So JC and Aaron were talking about why questions, how kids ask why questions. And I'm wondering how questions evolve, as kids get older, because the fifth graders, they ask tons of what if questions. What if this and what if that and what if this? I'm like, nobody's allowed to ask a what if question anymore. I will answer any question that does not start with the words what if.
And that it seems like it, especially at that age, that again, with hearing everything that's going on in the world, it seems like that would get wildly out of control. Because I remember if I was in fifth grade, it'd be like, well, what if I do a sick day on Monday, or what if I eat too much ice cream, or yeah.
I was like, this assignment is due on Friday. It's a test grade. It's an easy A. Come on, turn it in. And they're like, what if we don't? What do you mean? What if you don't? Why are you planning not to turn the assignment in? This makes no sense. I talk about a fire drill. Well, what if the fire's over there? Well, what if the fire's in the room? Well, what if this and what if that? I'm like, I swear to ever living goodness.
And this is very disturbing to me. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel like why is an important question, but I think what if is a very important question to scientific exploration. And
True.
You being a science teacher, like, where would we be if Einstein hadn't posited, what if I run at a mirror at the speed of light?
True question. True. Yes. But if I just sat and answered what if questions all day, we would never learn anything that we're supposed to learn.
Is there, I was reading something about what you were just talking about when kids ask why, like not giving answers, or not even necessarily having to know to be able to say, I don't know, let's learn together. Is there a better way maybe to respond to what if questions, to make them think about it, maybe to encourage them to flesh out their idea more and come back with more
Absolutely.
specific questions?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, what would you do? If this really happened, visualize it. What would you do? Yeah. In theory. In a 60-minute class
Yeah, I'm
where
sure
you're just trying to tell
yeah.
them where the heck to go for a fire drill.
Or where the fire is going to be.
Yeah, like and that was my answer, guys. There are endless what if questions. What if the fire's in that corner of the room versus that corner of the room? Like, if I can't give you every single scenario, you're gonna have to react, and that is why during a fire drill you are silent, so I can tell you what to do.
Well, and that's the end. It sounds like that's the answer, no matter what it is. That's why
Yeah,
I've
you
been
think.
given. That's why I've been given this
God.
position, and you all have to trust my judgment in those moments. You're not going to have a choice.
During a fire drill, I am God.
I
No, that's not appropriate.
mean,
We need to have a follow-up after that happens, because I would love to hear
what it was like being
it's-
God.
Yes.
it's adding to the
Sure,
future
yep,
deification of April.
Oh Lord.
So when we were talking about it, and I think a lot about philosophy, and it seems like doing reading and thinking, like the first thing you come to is that as adults, the biggest difference is that we don't spend a lot of time asking why. And we don't consider the implications, like even with what if, like consider the implications of much of anything. Like, we're so comfortable with our experiences. Like, we go to open a door and we know what's going to happen, right?
But do you think it's because natural curiosity has it goes away as you get older naturally, or do you think society takes it away by the way we do schooling?
I think that to what Aaron said, it's personal experience. Like, if you open the door 3,000 times and the sun's always out there, like, you will be surprised if it's raining the one time you open the door after 3,000 times that it's sunny out there. But
you just take it for granted. You start taking it for granted. When you open the door as a kid and sometimes it's sunny and sometimes it's dark. This is the unit we're in, BTW. But sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it's dark, and you start asking questions like, well, why is it sometimes sunny? Why is the sun out sometimes? And why is the moon out sometimes? And then we just start taking for granted. A lot of people probably don't understand all the mechanics of it because they've forgotten their 5th grade knowledge.
Well, I'd say those people are meteorologists.
That's true fact. True fact. I should be a meteorologist.
No, I think,
so
and to
good.
your point, April, I think that one of the conclusions I came to is that a little bit of knowledge brings a lot of complacency, and it's a disproportionate growth. And we do take that it's like, oh, it's raining, and you know what that means for traffic's gonna suck getting to work, or I have to grab the umbrella, or any number of strings of things that you do unconsciously, and you don't ever stop to think why anything.
Yeah. I agree. And because you get busier, right? I mean, just life in general starts happening, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs is starting to become in play because you don't have time for questions and exploration anymore. We should make like an adult exploration. You know how they have like the Discovery Museum? Yeah, like the Discovery Museum for adults.
those are called bars.
Oh.
Yes. They are everywhere. Everywhere.
Not just for sociology research.
It's true.
We need something additional. Well, and I had an interesting experience. I went with some adult friends.
I like how you say adult friends. Like, do you have children friends?
Well,
Your
no,
friends
but this
that are
it's
children?
important. Well, no, I have nieces. I don't know if you know about those. But no,
don't.
we went to the Lead Discovery Children's Museum in the great
Oh,
Las Vegas, Nevada. And I mean, it's important at the time because we didn't have kids and they took our IDs because they thought we were hoodlums.
How
But
long ago was this?
huh?
How long ago was this?
Maybe 10 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, it was my mid to late
you were a hoodlum.
mid to late 20s. I could have very easily been a hoodlum. There's a chance I was drunk. I don't know. But the surprise or like the interaction I saw from people I was with on that trip with some of the things that were going on that either they hadn't learned or maybe had let go of over the course of life was a very interesting thing to me.
Really? Every day I experience it. I'm teaching about astronomy right now. Not my favorite science. Okay. So like I know these things. Like I know these things. Even things I know, I'm teaching them. I'm like, oh yeah. Like I start to feel it again. Like I remember that. Like, but if you had talked to me about it before I started teaching this unit again, I would be like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the same thing. My wife and I were so excited for our son to go to school because we get to experience all this with him again. And he's like, calm down, mom and dad. It's just kindergarten. It's not a big deal. We're like, no, we get to learn math again and learn what continents are and see the capitals. We get to learn all this stuff because when we watch shows with him, and we watched a show, I think it was just yesterday, of the museum in Las Vegas, and it was Blippi or something like that. But just going through all those different experiences again was just, we were excited, super stoked.
Yeah.
Oh, and Steven says just watch Billy Madison, Jake.
I know it's on repeat.
Is that where Billy Madison? No, is that the golf one?
No, that's the one where he goes back to school.
Back to school, and she shows her boobs every time he.
And by she you mean Chris Farley?
Yeah. I will say, out of every time I've heard anybody reference that movie, this is the first time that anybody has referenced that part of the movie. So congratulations.
Really?
She went straight there. Yeah.
It's about bags of dog poo on fire or penguins or everything else. Nobody has ever referenced the movie like that before. So
really,
you win the episode. Yes.
Wow.
It's very telling.
Wow.
This is our sociology experiment.
There we go.
I don't for that part and the pee part where he peed his pants for the kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bodily functions is like my gay. That's my.
Well,
gay.
it's a teacher's perspective versus, two male perspectives. That's
we all see teaching, and she just sees boobs.
She's like, nope, that's not good for the kids. We're not gonna let them watch this one.
That's true. I was like, how does this relate? How come I remember the boobs, but the guys don't remember their boobs?
It's a very deep philosophical movie. And this might be a hard question for you to answer, April. I don't know. But have you ever found yourselves saying, "Because I said so"?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, at home more than in the classroom, because I hadn't really considered the whole 30 children asking questions at the same time.
Not a lot. I'm sure I have, but I can't remember an instant. Like you said, though, I say it sometimes at school because, like, you're finally like, just freaking do what I said. Like, you don't need to know why. Just do what I said. I do, but I would like to clarify on that. I actually have been this year really going through everything that I do and say and why I do and say it. We just had a talk about why I correct them so much. Like I told them I correct you all the times I correct you is because I know you can be better, because I know you can do better, because I see the potential in you. And this is the expectation I'm expecting you to live up to. So I'm really working on in the classroom explaining those things as well. But I don't think I did it a lot at home.
I feel like the only times I've done it, it's been I know he's being combative, either he's tired or hungry or something. And I know it is in his best interest. And it's one of those, after 2 or 3 minutes of trying to logically explain this to a hungry, tired 5-year-old, it's like, you know what? It's just because I said so.
Like, sir, we have other priorities right now.
Yeah, and he was waiting on it. He'd just be like, like he knows. Like, he pushes me to that point, and he knows. Yeah.
They're just waiting for you to do it.
Yeah.
Like you had just said, you people to a child.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. What?
Funny that it starts that early.
He is. We lucked out. My mom is a 35-year retired kindergarten teacher and has been with him when we lived in Vegas for 6 or 8 months at a time, and is living with us now. So it's like when they ask if he's been to preschool, we can say his entire life.
Yeah.
You tell her it's like just pump the brakes just a little bit because he's gonna be super bored in kindergarten,
Yeah.
but everything else is good.
Yeah. He's gonna be the problem starter because he's like trying to investigate things. And you just go to the meetings and you're like, he's inquisitive. And
Yeah.
And we will give you more things off your Amazon wish list.
yeah,
Everything's fine.
that's what
Everything's
we did.
fine. Or
We-
kinetic sand and
He's-
magnets, take them all. Take them all.
Dude, we paid people to take Ayla. Ayla was this preschool. It's at our public schools they have this typical peer program. So they have early childhood for kids who are developmentally delayed, and then they'll have typical peers in the room. Well, they thought Ayla was so cute that they took her a little early, right? They're like, she's so cute. And right off, Chad and I were like, okay, we've got to do something because they're going to figure out like she's cute, but she's a PIA to the top extreme. So we're like, so we're just going to go ahead and give you $250 a month to buy whatever you want for your classroom, okay? Now they can't come back.
Wait, so this is a paying program for parents?
No, it's free.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this should have come up in last week's episode about administration, but
Yeah.
But we're
that's okay.
Why are
That's
Why are
okay.
they paying me to kidnap my child
Yeah,
to be in a
yeah.
different classroom?
it was under the table.
Don't say that on the internet. You talk about the lists
Oh.
I'm on.
That's where the mailbox was, where you put the verified check was under the
Oh,
table.
gotcha.
That's exactly
Perfect. Yeah,
where
yeah.
I went to.
This was like 10 years ago, people. 10 years ago. Come on.
There's no statute of limitations on that stuff.
This school calls me. Ayla's been revoked from public school.
Thanks.
Oh
April.
man. So to get to the play stuff a little bit,
Okay.
when I was doing reading, I found a quote that was misattributed to Plato. That was, "You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation," which it felt very aggressive to me because I do that a lot at work. Like, I judge people more quickly at work than I do in my personal life, and it's easier to find those things. Do you think that might have something to do with the innate curiosity of play?
Yeah, because when you're thinking and you're having a conversation, it's coming from thought and mind. You're thinking and you're putting everything that you're doing and saying through filters, right? Filters that society has put on you. It's not instinctual. It's not natural all the time. But when you're playing, you tend to let those barriers down, right? And you just be. You're just being in your beingness. And so it's a lot more natural. It's a lot more you. That's all I got.
Well, plus it's easier to get away from people not at work. You're stuck with those people 40 plus hours a week. So
True that.
That is true. Do you think Jake, that you learn more about your kid and understanding your relationship with your kid through play than you do through any of the other times of the day?
most definitely, and that's what April said about putting the barriers down. I mean, he has nothing to fear from me, but when we walk home from school, when I ask him what he did today, he's just kind of like, oh, I did this, did this. If we sit down and start playing Legos and he starts building and we start playing, it's like it's the flood. The gates have opened. Like I ask him, he'll re-answer the same questions I had asked earlier, but way more descriptive, and then he'll go off on tangents about the other kids and this and that. So we learn more about what he does at school, either if we're sitting down at the dinner table and he's eating something he likes, or if we're playing, or if he's moving. So
oh my gosh, that's genius. We should write a book right now about like when to ask people questions. Like if you want authentic answers, if you need to wait. I mean, half the book would be about getting people drunk and then asking them questions. But the other half could be about play and like you said, like just be when somebody's in the flow, that's when you should ask them.
just like going out and playing basketball, so I'm gonna be like, so anyways, about what you
Right?
said last week. Let me pull out my notepad here.
Right?
Well, I think there's value to that in inducing, and just like you said, getting them drunk, inducing creativity, inducing creative thought. I don't think
But
that.
anybody tuning in right now, it's not children. We're talking about adults.
Yeah, if you want to,
No, the drinking part.
Hey,
yeah,
whatever, I
don't
don't-
make children drink.
whatever. Sometimes they're
What?
teething, and you got to do what you got to do. And it's what I learned from my
So much. I'm learning so much.
my
right now.
grandmother. I think it's probably not. That's not true.
You rub it on their gums. Ayla, every once in a while, I can't lie. Ayla takes a shot. I don't know why.
Nowadays?
Chad told us. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she was still
said-
teething. I mean, that's a little old,
She
but
does it at her dad's. I think it's for her throat. I don't know. My children already know what alcohol they're going to be drinking when they turn 21. Sage is mimosas. Ayla is beer.
oh, so that's good. At least one of my nieces is a bruncher.
Yes.
You know it had to be Sage.
Rumpelstiltskin?
know.
Steven, I don't know what you're
Steve-
talking about, man.
Okay, let me say, without Jacob, Steven is on the loose.
I'm not going to say I am the glue that holds chat together, but I'm just not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Steven's on fire.
He is. He is.
I don't understand his last one though. Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, because you were talking about alcohol.
Yeah, rum is
What
a
was
type.
that?
Rum is a type of alcohol,
It is.
and then Rumpelstiltskin is a non sequitur. Well, not a complete non
Got-
sequitur, but it starts
But
with
it
rum.
could he'd be like, "Oh, you mean Rumpelstiltskin? Got it. Don't say it. Sing it.
There you go.
Sing Rumpelstiltskin."
Steven, let it go. Let it go, Steven. Let it
Oh
go.
God. So.
You gotta follow the chat, people. If you're watching this right now, please go to the chat in the Facebook group and see what you're missing out on.
So following up the previous thought, after I got into reading about the misplacement of that quote to Plato, somebody was talking about his actual negative thoughts on play. And through his writings, I guess it was that he believed that play gave children ideas that those ideas might threaten the status quo in society, and thus play was something that needed to be controlled.
Who is this man? Because he needs to be beaten with stones or something.
I mean, you could tell us how you really feel, April. I mean, this is your show. You could really just let loose.
That's the kind of government bull crap that got us to where we're at. Don't start. Oh my gosh. That's people. This is it. This is how that they control you and want to put you in a box. Just burst out the box. Burst out the box.
Hashtag put it on a mug.
So, but it's, I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about Plato, because my knowledge is relatively little, except that we hold a lot of tenets that began and were philosophized through Plato and the early philosophers. So maybe we just need to go back and do more reading.
Oh.
And figure out.
Okay, everybody, you're gonna die when I tell you what I'm about to tell you.
I already know.
Yeah, already dead.
Do you?
Go right ahead.
Already
Because
dead.
you thought so too, right? Did you think so
Just a
too?
little bit.
You
Just
thought
a
so
little
too?
bit.
I thought you were talking about Play-Doh. The stuff you mush into. He thought
I thought the same thing. I was like, how could this man speak so angrily about Play-Doh, a children's toy? A children's toy.
Oh my god. Oh my
it
god.
wasn't just me.
I wanted to throw you under the bus there. I couldn't. I really couldn't. The whole time I'm like, yeah, because I mean, I play Play-Doh with my kid all the time. I'm like, man, that's some deep stuff. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Oh my god, I'm crying now.
And I'm completely speechless. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, well, and Aaron's on the opposite side. Like, he was like, why are they so angry about this? Like, did they take a class on, ancient literature before this?
Oh
No?
my god, I seriously thought you were talking about Play. I was like, how could a quote be from Play-Doh?
Oh, so you weren't with me even that far back about
No.
playing.
As soon as you said kid, and then a sentence
Play-Doh?
later you said Play-Doh, oh, we were there.
We were at the Play-Doh.
My heart's
Yep.
my heart's melting. You can't see it. It's very confused.
Oh my.
Like literally.
Oh man.
Okay. So what was your question?
April's never been so passionate about anything in her life than Play-Doh. Don't mess with that.
Okay.
No,
So go back.
it just made me think about, like, because of the influence that Plato has had on society, like, maybe we need to go back and reevaluate the reasons that happened, and maybe those ideas are what has gotten us to this high efficiency mindset, the adult mindset, the non-creative mindset, to figure out where that started to maybe break it down.
I also now realize I know a lot more about Play-Doh than I do Plato, first of all.
Shocking.
So does Steven. I'm guessing he didn't mean that Plato is salty.
Yeah,
He might be salty.
Play-Doh.
Yeah, hey, I wouldn't put it past Steven. He's a pretty intelligent guy.
Yeah, right. He probably knew that I didn't know that what you were talking
He's not that intelligent. Let's not.
So Plato was a philosopher.
Savage.
Yes.
A
With,
philosopher.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't know the different. Like, I don't know what Plato's things were versus Socrates and like they all are the same.
Well, no, that's exactly the point that
Oh.
that it brought up in me, is that maybe there needs to be more reading to figure out like the progression of our society. And if it started from a place where somebody was like, play needs to be controlled because it brings up subversive antisocial thoughts.
Did this happen? Was there like, where is this moment in time? Like,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But to have the idea that play needs to be
you should
controlled.
know since you brought it up.
Well, I mean, I didn't do years of research on Plato just to have this discussion. It was literally just a thought
I mean,
had.
technically, every child has done years of research on Play-Doh. So.
Yeah, I know. I feel like you're still saying Play-Doh.
Like physically on Play-Doh. Like they don't even use chairs anymore. It's all Play-Doh.
Yeah, this comment. Okay, first of all, this comment worries me. But it doesn't. Why do I always let these things surprise me? So when we started having freedoms taken away, and I know this is not where this should be going, but when we started having freedoms taken away because of the virus, right, that came out.
Oh, maybe not. Never mind. I take back what I said.
What bothered me is that there was never a question about it, right? We never questioned it, and the fact that I was questioning it made me a horrible person. So maybe there needs to be an analysis of this for someone to be able to say that play causes dangerous ideas that could disrupt the status quo of society and the box we're trying to shove you in. Like, you have to be the one you have someone to say that you have to be the one benefiting, right, from everybody being in a box.
Yeah.
And what are you scared of? What are you scared of?
Getting picked last.
That guy gets picked last.
Not
in the Play-Doh competitions.
Plato got picked last in the Play-Doh competition.
In art class or theater class, it works both ways.
Yeah.
They named it after him, actually.
I'm Googling.
Did they?
Yeah. They named it after him because he got picked last. Like that's how they insulted him.
Play-Doh?
Yeah, they called him Play-Doh. Like,
Seriously,
oh, you suck. Nobody wants you playing Play-Doh with us, so we're gonna call you Play-Doh to remind you.
Did Play-Doh is Play-Doh named after Plato? No, because it's Play-Doh. It's like a dough, but it's for play.
If you look up the Wikipedia page, Play-Doh was actually created in 1400s, 1500s, if not earlier.
Really?
It's been around for a while. No, April, no.
Oh.
Sorry, no. I'm sorry, no.
Okay, but also it could be because there was dough to create tortillas, and I'm sure kids played with it, and they were playing with dough.
So it's always existed.
Can we rename this episode Play-Doh or Plato?
I didn't know this was gonna go this way. I don't have the foresight, and I don't actually know if I can update the title.
No, you don't have to update it. It's okay.
No, I'd be interested.
You can put it in. That. So, okay, we're back to play. And I think that philosophers, if like right now, let's say your kid, right, was like, I'm gonna go get my degree in philosophy. You're gonna be like, and you're gonna do nothing with you're living in my basement. Is that what you're saying?
Now, not to contradict, but if they would come to me and say that, I was like, you have a goal, you have something you want to complete, more power to you.
They're going to be living in your basement.
Well, I don't know that.
Well, what are they going to do? The philosophy degree. That's my point. Is there's not a lot of societal importance, right?
Yes.
On this kind of thinking. because what money does it make?
Well-
And it's all about the.
No, go ahead.
No, because it's all about money.
Yeah.
And that's that's how we value people, is how much money you can make.
Well, I think, and I'll respectfully disagree here, because I think
Good.
the ideas, like what you learn from philosophy, because what you're learning theoretically, I've never taken a philosophy class, but you learn from other people. Like you learn other people's ideas and how those ideas were developed and the structure of those ideas. And by nature, it makes you more curious. And when you're more curious, you
Yes.
can do things like make a Snickers
agree.
bar that is just a brownie, still call it Snickers and sell it to 1 million people, and not have those people go, why is there Snickers on the label if this is just a brownie?
I feel like I need to know, like, what jobs people get with philosophy degrees. Because if those were philosophy degrees, yes.
I'm willing to bet
really
you
think those-
I'm willing to bet you it's very well rounded.
Well, and anymore, I mean, does it, if you go in for a supervisor position or something and you have a degree, a 4-year degree, are they not just looking for the fact that congratulations, you completed,
a degree.
a degree?
You
Yeah.
paid the government money. Thank you so much for contributing to the ridiculousness of society.
There
Yeah.
you go. There,
Yeah.
Steven says marketing, HR, management. Yeah,
That's because he just looks at that. Jobs for philosophy majors, a lawyer, a lawyer. Okay, first of all, a lawyer, that's just because they did their undergraduate work in philosophy, because they're like, hey, let me play because for my undergraduate, because I'm gonna have to do a lot of crap to get this lawyer
Well,
degree.
and ethics
System-
is falls under the category of philosophy.
Yeah.
Ethics. This is the reason why I haven't said what I'm about to say, because I couldn't think of the word ethics. I took an environmental ethics class. It was actually super, super interesting and had all the philosophers in it, and their philosophies on environmental ethics, obviously.
Is there a lot
It
of
was one of
impact
my-
to Plato?
Yeah. Plato.
Yeah, welcome
I
to
feel
my
like
life.
you're
Sorry,
not-
didn't mean to interrupt your
You're
stream
not
of consciousness
emphasizing
there.
enough. Plato. Yes. Yeah. There was, and Plato was in there a lot, and Socrates and all their different philosophies on environmental justice. So what if there was a philosophy class for every? That would bring. Oh, I have to put my drink down this. That would bring back adult play. If we had a philosophy class for every major.
I don't think that's. I think that philosophy helps teach how to learn by doing the
Yeah.
things that we're talking about, becoming more childlike and experiencing things in a different way.
Mhm.
Because you stop to ask those questions. You step out of your high efficiency human presumptions of what's
Yeah.
going to happen to ask something new.
Hashtag add a philosophy class. That's not a very clever hashtag. I'll think of a new one.
Did you take any philosophy in college, Jake? Any environmental ethics?
No, it was the elective I chose against. I can't remember what the other one was, but no philosophy class. I lied. I took the philosophy of death and dying, which was probably the only class that I actually remember other than the computer classes that I took. It was at a local community college. The book was fantastic. The teacher was not the best. She was giving points to people who had gone through deaths in families, who had basically had personal experience with it. Again, I think it was an elective class that she just checkmarked as, yes, I'll teach it this year. But no, yeah, the philosophy of death and dying, this was a long time ago. Again, the book was really good because I was very lucky growing up. I didn't deal with a lot of deaths in the family or friends or anything. And I honestly can say the first time I remember somebody passing was like mid-teens. And before that, nobody really talked about it. Nobody really did anything. So it really resonated with me taking the class and just kind of working through some of those things. But yeah, it was interesting. Very
I
interesting.
think, how we talked about a couple weeks ago about the divine feminine and masculine world? I think this would add to that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was
I think
gonna
this
go
would be
throw
true.
shade early on when you were talking about the difference between conversation and play, and how
Uh-huh.
play or how conversation you're all doing up here
Uh-huh.
in your mind with all of your masculine energy, as opposed to letting that energy flow to your feminine to play. But
Yes.
I held on to it, but I'm glad I got it out.
Yes.
So I can prove that I'm
Yes.
learning something and I can get a ribbon one of
Well
these
done.
days.
Well done.
Yes. Yes.
You can put it on the
Yes.
wall behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually. Yeah. It-
Somebody send this man a ribbon, please. Please.
one
Oh,
more month.
Lordy.
One more month and my background will be back and it'll be exciting again.
Nice.
I know Steven's going cray over here, but Steven says adult play. I think I saw that at place in Vegas.
It's called the Green
That's
Door.
true. Like, yeah, it becomes just I was thinking through the whole adult process in my head for a second. Why does it all play become sexual?
Well, no, and that's the it's I would think like when I take my son to a playground, when he gets out of the car and he sees the playground, he's like, oh, I'm gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna do whatever. When people get off the plane in Vegas, they look, they see the lights, they see everything. They go,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna have so
You-
much
you
fun.
thought
Thanks
that
for
was
sticking
going
with
to
me,
weird
Aaron.
place,
Thank you for
huh,
sticking
Aaron?
with me.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. It could have went somewhere terribly wrong, but you know what? It didn't. It didn't.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's something, but it's also something because usually it's in Vegas and people don't live in Vegas and have that all the time. So it's new and different.
It's a playground.
So
yeah.
again, one of the importance of having something new and different. If you go to the same playground every Saturday for your entire life, I imagine that playground's going to get boring.
Or you're
I mean,
gonna
I
you
don't
find
know.
and even then, even if it's not boring, because I mean that depends. I imagine on personality type. But if you find
Yeah.
yourself doing the same thing, like without even thinking about it, like you go from I like the swings. You spend 30 minutes on the swings. You get bored of that, so you play with this specific group of kids, and then you go to the monkey bars, and you end up in this routine that's obviously not conscious
Yeah.
because
Like
you're 6
opening the
years
door
old. Yeah,
and seeing the sun.
yeah,
It becomes routine.
yeah.
But if you had an investigator mind, you might see the ants on the ground at the playground, or like what if questions. What happens if I push this kid down the slide? What velocity will he go depending on the force of my push?
The only person, the only person who took an ethics class is proposing this one.
Oh.
Hypothetically, of course.
Oh, Monique says that they allow adults to play on the playground at Container Park when kids aren't around. I did not know that. So Container Park in Vegas is like a little shopping area, but they also do like some concerts and they have a playground, but it closes to kids at like 9:00. So they allow you on the playground.
And then you can
I mean,
then
it's
you
not
can
great.
then you can do both things. You can both get drunk and push other people down slides.
Yeah.
And that is,
I mean,
and
that's my new goal.
an amazing playground. It's like 4 stories. Yeah.
True.
That
haven't
I
even
took
been
my
on it.
child to.
Last time I was there, they
Yeah.
had a whole setup. They had a whole DC setup, so you could take pictures. They had not DC. It was Marvel. Sorry, I'm adjusting. They had a Captain America shield,
As it should.
and they had like a Batman cowl thing. That's DC again.
Oh, really?
Man, I don't remember what they
Close.
had. I'm all over the place. It shows how little I
Going back to
care.
the first thing about
Marvel.
being intoxicated while going to the playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go by going to a playground.
But it was like a
yeah.
photo booth,
yeah.
but it was like a comic book photo booth thing, and there were no kids
Yeah.
because it was later in the evening.
After 9. Yeah. Yeah, Marvel equals Disney. That's all I know. And funny, I think Marvel. Oh, we could do an episode on this. Marvel. We should do a Marvel versus DC episode. Am I too squirrely?
I can get lots of
But-
people who will gladly
I-
talk the whole time.
And you could have 100 people in here that would love to talk. the
Marvel
entire
equals Disney, and Marvel equals funny. That's all I know.
Funny?
You would start many angry
DC is
conversations
boring.
just starting with that.
Yeah, DC's boring. No,
I-
are you feel? Can we get a vote? Can we get a vote? Marvel or DC?
Well, we do not need to go into this. This will be a 4-hour episode, and I don't even feel that strongly about it. If you get somebody on here who is, yeah. Well, and Steven says Star Wars versus Star Trek too.
Star Wars. Why? Why do
Yeah,
you
like
think?
what is the best
Three-
boy? I see
three
it in the
reasons.
credits
This is
for Star Trek, and I don't know what
Star
it is.
Wars versus Star Trek. Star Wars wins for 3 reasons. 1, Disney owns them now. 2, Chewbacca. 3, Baby Yoda.
For somebody who is so against the man, you are.
Oh, I know. No.
Love
Did-
Disney.
No, la 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 la.
Anyways.
Did Yoda have a baby? I don't remember that part of the lore.
His name is Gorder.
Uh,
Gorder.
Grogu.
I don't know. Grogu.
Grogu.
Yeah, that.
I got you. I'll help you
Thank
stay
you.
out of trouble with the internet to some degree.
Kids, natural philosophers.
Well, yeah.
I will bridge it. I think Star Wars was bigger than Star Trek because kids got into Star Wars more, even back in the 80s and 90s, than they did in Star Trek. Because Star Trek, I seen, was more of an adult show. Still good, still very
It's more
good.
It's
thinky,
more
wasn't it?
cerebral, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh my God, you're good, JC.
Like a champ.
Dude, you are a champ. What is that whole don't break your elbow patting yourself on the back or something?
Might
We're
actually
going
happen
with it,
tonight.
yeah. I mean, that's what it is
Yeah.
now. It doesn't matter what
Yeah,
it was.
but that's legit.
There you go.
That's legit.
Put it on a mug.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, as
I'm
adults,
sorry.
I think that philosophically there's a lot more to gain from Star Trek. This is coming from somebody who's not a fan and does not watch it. But there's a lot.
Oh.
They give you a lot to chew on.
Hmm.
The thing I like about Star Trek is the diversity. Is the diversity of organisms?
Yeah, that works. We can go with
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
100%.
yeah, the diversity of organisms that all co-mingle and stuff. That's all I got.
Stuff.
I don't know what they do.
Well, and that is true to form. My 5-year-old is all about Star Wars. He has not seen one movie. Because the first movie is kind of there, but they just they're fantastic movies, but they get more violent and different things happening throughout the movies. But the only there's the Lego Star Wars has just nailed it for him. And the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, he has probably watched about 30 times.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and he has not seen a single movie.
That's an interesting collaboration that I didn't think of. This is way off topic, but so Lego is Legoland, but now Disney owns Star Wars.
Different
who
entities.
Who owns that Lego movie?
Hasbro.
They
It's
just
just
got
a-
permission.
Probably Hasbro. Yeah, the Hasbro probably got rights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They just,
The Lego movies and TV shows is I'm pretty sure they have their own company that does all the movies and everything, and they just they have Marvel. They have
yeah.
who knows, they might have Star Trek. I don't know.
And it could be, I mean,
Yeah.
that could even be Sony getting rights from Hasbro and
Yeah.
Disney and just being like,
True
you guys
that.
want to make some money?
Yeah. We can print it.
Let's manipulate the population. Steven asks, is it safe to let your kids watch the same thing 30 times? Steven, I know you have children, and I know that it doesn't matter if it's safe. You do it. You just do it. When your kid, at least it's not freaking Barney, dude. At least it's not Barney and Teletubbies.
Well,
Again.
Well, and they are educational. They are getting something from it. I don't know.
Sometimes-
I'm very 50-50 about it, because when you go past, even in a child mind, 5 to 10 times, they almost zone out because they know what's going to happen. And maybe that's a comforting thing, that they know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Agreed. It's
surprises.
comfort.
Well,
Comfort.
that's definitely absolutely true. But it actually made me think about something. Say you're walking down, you
Related.
walk down the same hallway, right, when you leave your bedroom every day. And the first time you walk down that hallway, you're taking in a lot of information as far as what's around you and what things look like. And as you progress through it, it becomes more routine. But is there a chance it makes you more sensitive to these smaller changes that occur if you're willing to see them, right? You might see that
Yes, I
spider up in the
agree.
corner that if you didn't know where you were, you wouldn't see that spider. So maybe having, especially if it's something educational, if you're watching it 30 times, that there's a deeper point that, and this is giving producers and shit a lot of credit, but to see something that's deeper that was not seen the first time through, as you become comfortable with the higher level concepts, that you get deeper into the minutia.
Do you really think that they see the nuances and that's what they are attracted to? Are they attracted to the nuances? We're thinking of children here.
I mean, well, and that's why do I watch Fifth Element every other month? I mean, for the past 10 years, is I still find different things in it. And it's that comforting, like, I know how the next hour and a half is going to go, but I might find one or two things different in it. I mean,
That's true. I've watched
yeah.
every House episode,
Yeah.
like at least 5 times. I know what is wrong with that patient. The second
And you
I
know
see-
how he's going to fix it.
yeah,
and
the second
And
I
that's
see
a
the
show
opening
that
part.
everybody waits for the twist. So I mean, if you even know what the twist is, sticking
And I
through
still
the whole
watch
time,
it.
yeah.
When you already
Yeah.
know that
Because
Omar
I-
Epps looks like Mike Tomlin, and that's the best joke in that show. Not to digress.
Yeah, but not as angry.
I don't know who Mike Tomlin is, first of all.
There,
It's okay.
4% of the audience will be dying right now, and we
Oh.
don't have enough people in here for that to make it to 1, so we're good.
That happens to be the distance of the Earth to the Sun is 0.00000016 light years.
It's almost like you
I-
teach that or something.
I
That's
know
fantastic.
things.
Well done.
but
Thank
that's that's kind of my point, right? Like, you don't, the first walk down that hallway, if that spider was there, you wouldn't see it. Like, you wouldn't even be sensitive enough to see it. So not like our kids actively looking for the minutia, but they may be absorbing it just because of the comfort with the
It
rest
appears.
of the content. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is a comfort / I still see something different every time. I
Yeah.
think it's both. And as they age, their brain is looking for different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so as a child, even a month is a big brain grow versus as an adult when you digress.
Hopefully,
some of us.
Some of us. Hopefully, we're not looking to do it.
What? What?
So, staying on the adult side of things, I just want the thoughts on Socrates said a life not questioned is not worth living.
Agree.
So to what extent, like, if there are people that say struggle with finding a purpose in life and look externally for that, is that misguided, or should they look into themselves and explore more of their inner thoughts and more of their creativity to find value?
I don't know if you want my opinion.
It just kind of depends on the person. I mean, there's going to be some people who are better, listening to themselves and diving in deep, and other people that need to get the input or at least different ideas of a community.
A year ago, my answer would be different. A year and a half ago now. But my answer today is I feel that our life purpose is to get to know our soul self and live separate from the expectations that society has put upon us.
You're a Buddhist now.
So, is that what Buddhist is?
Yeah, you're searching for enlightenment.
Not really enlightenment of self.
Yeah.
Like, is that what Buddhism is?
Well, I think it's a more
Buddhist. It's like-
complicated idea than narrowing it down to that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like figuring out who you are and what your purpose and destiny is. But it's so hard to get to that because so much is being piled upon you, right? Like from everywhere, from your parents, from your peer group, from society, from school, from work. Like so much is piled upon you that it's hard to live your destiny. And so the ultimate goal is to live your destiny. But it's not an easy thing to do, and not a lot of people do it.
Do y'all think that we get some, and this is another thing where I'm completely ignorant on this, that we gain some value as people in rediscovering play with children, that it allows you better to, because as you're a child, you're, like we've talked about, you're not thinking about the implications of what you're doing and opening up your creative mind and allowing those thought processes to happen. But as an adult, as you re-experience play, is it helping you get closer to that, the more accurate self-evaluation and those ideas?
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember we talked about the boundaries because it helps you drop walls, right?
Mhm.
And look at they did that thing where they had preschools inside of
elderly home
retirement
cares.
homes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just getting ready to bring that up. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That. Well, that's they did that for a elder care home up in Pennsylvania, where my mom's side of the family is, and just seeing the pictures from it. This is 2 or 3 years ago, but bringing the kids in to see people that were so infatuated with them and just that just hung on their every word. It seemed like both parties were just all about it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we know ourselves and our destiny in the beginning and the end, and we lose it in the middle. That's what a midlife crisis is. Midlife crisis is a crisis of identity.
Yeah.
You lose your identity, and how do you lose it? Because of all those things I said.
You spend the first half of your life working toward a goal that's been thrust upon you.
Yeah.
And then as you achieve that goal, theoretically at 40, you lose everything.
You're
Yep.
like, now what? Now what I do? What am I now that if I, like you said, theoretically I've achieved that goal, like now what?
Tattoo, motorcycle, tanning bed.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit
right?
all of those at 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
I've been married.
Tanning bed.
I
Seriously, tanning bed.
I had 2.5 kids. Yeah, Aaron does the
There you go.
tanning bed. Yeah. Stephen brought up a good question. First of all, Stephen, did you know Garbage Men? When I was, this is just a fun story. This is a fun story. When I was young, my mom put me in a beauty pageant. And they asked in the beauty pageant what you want to be when you grow up. And everybody's like, I want to be a princess. Like, I want to be a doctor. And they asked me, and I'm like, I want to be a garbage man. Because mom had told me garbage men make a lot of money. I'm like, garbage men make a lot of money for what they do. So I was in a beauty pageant. It's like, I want to be a garbage man.
That speaks a lot to Steven's other question of, as a parent, do your kids think you know their destiny? Because, I mean, that speaks to that. I think that seems to be true, where you take
I think they know their
that
destiny
for gospel.
before we. Yes, I think the less influence they have had by the outside world, the more they know their destiny.
Well, I remember growing up and going to high school. It was like you're I'm blanking on the name now. In high school, the person that tells you what job you'll be good for.
Counselor?
The counselor or job placement or something like that. They're like, and they put so much onus on that once they said something, it's like, well, I guess I better do that or something adjacent to that because there's no
That's
other
all I'm
options.
good at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But what made me think of that is like, so maybe preschool that we hype up is not that good as we think it is. It's not, because it's really just preparing our students to be part of the cog in the machine.
So you do that in preschool?
Yes. You start, this is how we sit in a chair. This is how we line up. This is what you should think about. This is what you shouldn't think about.
Scheduled nap
Like,
times, which everybody should believe is irresponsible.
Amen.
Nap times.
No,
where Aaron
scheduled nap times.
Yeah, I think that's where Aaron and I, like, the only thing Aaron and I had similar in our childhoods is the what is that called? What is that called when you are against something and you hold the signs?
Protesting?
Picketing?
The protesting of nap time. I was caught jumping from bed to bed. Aaron was stuffing toilet paper in toilets to make them overflow. Like, this is nap time for us.
I was exploring the physics of our plumbing system. That's what I was
doing. Which prepared you for what you're doing today, correct? Yes. That's See, as a child,
hard to argue that.
You're like, I need to answer these what-if questions. That's right. I stuffed a whole roll of toilet paper in this toilet. What will happen?
And if an adult would have just answered my question, wouldn't have had to do it.
Right? And what if I'm not wrong? What if your plumbing system is just inferior to the toilet paper? How can toilet paper beat toilet?
Maybe that's how that's the recipe for gold, but you'll never know until you try.
Right.
Aaron's thinking about everything he did as a child.
That took a turn. No, I don't have memories of any of this. I don't remember the beauty pageant. I don't remember the toilet. I don't remember the hopping from bed to bed. None of this.
No, I remember it. I'm little bit older than Aaron for the audience. I know it doesn't look like it. You all thought that he was my older brother.
Well, I've got the grades to prove it.
I hide my ish.
So just to bring it back around for something to think about to wrap it up with, there was in my reading, ethicist John Wall, like they have an international conference on the philosophy of play. I don't know if these are published. It's on my list of things to find out.
It's probably for early childhood educators.
I don't know that it would be if you have an
psychologists.
If like you maybe psychologists, but if you have like an ethicist involved, I doubt it's for teacher's sake.
True.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, it said play is something that is all around us all the time, but which only becomes real when we engage with it.
Oh yeah. Well, duh. To me, that's like a quote, like this table is black.
I don't think that's.
I think
obvious.
that April needs to go speak at this TED Talk.
Right?
It's all just so. It's all so obvious.
It's so obvious.
So pedantic.
I think that's obvious. I think it's so obvious. Duh, play is all around us. Like, and you have the potential. And I think that is, like, you see the people, the adults who interact in play, who either naturally or for a little force, even if it's a little alcoholic beverage or something like that, then are inclined to play. It becomes once you let your boundaries down, right? In some way, form, whether it's naturally or by what's that word? Not outside forces, like synthetic. Anyway,
as a result of stimuli, external stimuli,
yeah.
peer pressure.
What do you do? Yeah, you engage in play, right?
It's like everything else. The more you do it, the more you do it.
Yep. The more you do, the less you do, the less you do.
No, that's a whole other different philosophy. No, don't try to force that in here. Don't try to force that in here.
That's an April quote. Don't steal it.
But the more you do things, no matter what it is, if you take more time to stop and, like, if you're mowing the lawn, you stop and look at what's growing and to appreciate what's actually going on, the more you'll find yourself doing it without impetus.
Do you know what you're talking about? You're talking about mindfulness.
Yeah. I agree.
Mindfulness.
It's come up a couple of times that I thought we were going to end up stopping, but we didn't, to talk about mindfulness.
Yeah, we can make that. I think it's because we're meant to make it a whole episode. I got plenty of peeps on the line.
We'll make it happen. Is that what we're doing next week then? Because
oh, sure. So we got a lot of people coming up, guys. Let me tell you what's on the line. But people don't respond really quickly. Also, can you all remember and feel some empathy that I have a real job now where I have to go to from 7:30 to 3:30. I teach fifth graders, and it's not easy life. It's not an easy life.
You need to realize right now that you're making an excuse for Jake, and it's really disrespectful. Like, we haven't let off the gas pedal. We've been full to the floor. And how dare you?
I literally have no idea what you're talking about. But let me tell you what's on the line. We have some nudists coming up. I got some nudist responses, some gun rights. If you know a gun rights person, reach out to me because they don't answer back real fast, peeps. I have some furries coming up.
We've got a
Aaron
juggalo.
has a gigolo.
Juggalo.
Shit. Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Please.
I forgot.
Don't. No, it's fine. Continue.
Being from Vegas, you should know the word gigolo. And you should.
I do know gigolo, but I couldn't remember.
Fair
juggalo.
enough. Okay.
We have a juggalo, which is not jugglers, as some of you might think.
It's
as April thought.
Male prostitute jugglers, juggalos.
It's probably a Facebook group for that.
There's some good stuff coming.
Bowling pins are bowling
I can't
pins.
promise it's next week though. So surprise again.
So it'll be a surprise week, but we'll get something up midweek so everybody knows.
Yes.
We appreciate you hanging out, Jake. Thanks for joining us and talking about kids stuff.
First time, long time. I always want to say that. Always want to say that.
It's good to have the first commenter on to comment. But again, thanks for joining us. We'll let you know what's going on next week. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the things below, so we can get more people in here asking more questions, so we can spread the message of sensitivity and perspective. And until then, have meaningful conversations.
Love you